Hello, fellow retail investors. It's the Butcher of Wall Street coming right at you. Let's talk some macro. Let's talk Janet Yellen. Let's talk AMC. This could be a fun one.
Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit? Was it you, String Bean? You skinny ass looking motherfucker?
Hello,
Turn around
fellow
and say it
retail
again.
investors.
Turn around and say it
The Butcher of
again.
Wall Street. All right, whoever's got their mic on needs to mute themselves. Yeah, looks like it's me. Let's try this again.
Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit? Was it you, String Bean? You skinny ass looking motherfucker? Turn around and say it again. Turn around and say it again. Turn around and say it again.
Please be quiet. John, that is the President of the United States. I don't care who it is, he's ruining Hamlet.
Oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up.
Now you fucked up, Kenny.
Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit? Was it you, String Bean? You skinny ass looking motherfucker? Turn around and say it again. Turn around and say it again. Turn around and say it
Will
again.
you please be quiet? John, that is the President of the United States. I don't care who it is, he's ruining Hamlet.
Oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now. Now you fucked up. 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 Now you have fucked up.
Mr. President, will you please be quiet?
Suck my presidential cock, bitch. You fat ass piece of shit. You tubbalard looking motherfucker. What? 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 Hey!
What?
What? Huh? I don't know why you're looking up at me, bitch. Play's on stage. I'm not putting on a play up here. I'm trying to be entertained right now.
Mr. President, be quiet. John, calm down.
Listen to the woman, John.
Calm down.
Just calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Hey, Acty, stop the play. Acty, ho, Acty. Hey, ho. I gotta go to the bathroom. I drank too much liquid. Now I gotta piss. I got a bottle. I got a bottle. It's all right. Rewind the play 5 minutes, though, because that fat piece of shit was talking. I couldn't pay attention to what you guys was doing. So rewind the play 5 minutes. And you shut the fuck up.
If you have a milkshake, and I have a milkshake, and I have a straw, there it is. That's a straw, you see. Watching. And my straw reaches across the room
Drink your milkshake, Kenny.
and starts to drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Don't bully me, Daniel.
Did you think?
That's Hedges right there.
You haven't been down that way.
Undefeated, undisputed, never lost a round. The one and only Chael fucking Sonnen.
This vaccine campaign, it will go
know if you know
down
about this.
as the biggest scandal in medical history, and moreover, it will
got it
be
open.
known as the biggest crime ever committed on humanity.
You fucking know it.
Let's get back to the question, the larger issue about Putin's tax. That's really
Remember when they were
Putin's
still
gas
calling
hike.
it Putin's tax? I
That's
remember
his
that.
gas hike. This so much of this increase in the gas tax, gas price started weeks leading up to what happened there.
I don't know about that, Nancy.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking
Is that
about
right?
this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that it's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
Over the last couple of months, we actually saw it trended downward.
President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, enthusiastically retweeted an economist who had said in part most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, supply chains, et cetera, are high-class problems.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Well, the number one thing that the president can do is help get COVID under control. That we know is the root cause of inflation.
President Biden this afternoon saying he thinks we're at the peak of the crisis right now and that lower prices are on the way.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts.
I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
And he just laughs. There's nothing else he could do but laugh. It's just that goddamn funny. And the best part about everything that's happening right now, inflation, the bond market, used car and new car crisis, the real estate crisis, is that Japan and China are two of the largest bondholders of United States bonds. And they're going to fire sale these bonds to continue to prop up their own for as long as necessary. The surge we've seen recently in the Fed emergency borrowing window is just a sign of the times. It was a sign of what happened right before the 2008 great financial crisis. It's a sign of what happened right before the 2020 cerveza sickness, as my man George Gammon likes to call it, market crash. And now we've got the everything bubble. You see this light blue line? That's the Federal Reserve's emergency borrowing window that has just spiked. And it is not anywhere near peaked as far as I'm concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in for the crash, not only of our lives, but of the century. We have not seen anything like this since the Great Depression. And this is going to make the Great Depression look like a fucking cakewalk in a lot of aspects. I don't mean to downplay that, because the majority of people, probably everybody watching this, was not alive at that time, since that was, about 90 years ago. But I know we do have some old-timers, very wise old-timers on the channel, and for that I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow retail investors. What does that really mean for us? Well, at the end of the day, when you're looking at things like German volume of new mortgages being halved by 54%, largest decline ever on record, and total new mortgage business is the lowest in 12 years, as well as here in the United States, for those of you that are unaware, down in the southern parts of the country, Texas and the surrounding areas, you're looking at a 22% decrease in residential real estate prices in the last 3 months alone. In the Midwest, 17%. On the West Coast, 21%. And on the East Coast, another 21% decrease in residential real estate prices. And that's not even the big problem here. Commercial real estate crisis is the real significant issue that we're seeing right now. A lot of people still don't seem to understand this, but there are 2 trillion, with a T, not millions, not billions, not hundreds of millions, but trillions of maturing commercial real estate loans that are going to be expiring this year and next year. With the huge change into mobile and hybrid working and remote work, You have never seen so many empty office buildings and warehouses like we have up until now. Little by little, you're going to see strip malls and Burger Kings, restaurants, stores, office buildings, warehouses, you name it. Light residential, agricultural, light commercial, heavy commercial as well. You're going to start seeing them more and more empty. I've been personally tracking these as I was looking into buying a warehouse, and thankfully I decided the market is not in a position for me to be buying a light commercial warehouse for distribution purposes. So I just kind of sat back and decided to watch the market. And that's exactly what I've been doing, and it was the best move I've made in a long time. Look at that. Even KY Griff says, "Yup, my office is empty over here." MC, thank you for the super chat, my friend. You are too kind. Your support is greatly appreciated. But you know what? Yeah, we'll take some more questions. Before we get into the macroeconomics, let's just get straight to AMC since we've already spent about 15 minutes talking about macro. And you know what? Before I do, let's see what this old bitch has to say.
So $51 trillion of debt up from $33 trillion doesn't bother you?
I think the path that is set out in the president's budget is fiscally sustainable.
Okay. Well, how much debt is too much? Tell me that.
Well, I just gave you the metric that I think is best for assessing fiscal sustainability.
Okay. Let me ask it in simpler terms. I didn't follow you there.
It's
what percentage of our GDP? What debt as a percentage of our GDP is too much?
So it depends on what interest rates are. And real interest rates have been extremely low. This budget and previous budgets have projected that they would move up toward more normal levels over time, but certainly not the levels that we saw several decades ago. And
could you just answer my question, Madam Secretary?
Answer the fucking question.
Of what percentage of our debt of our GDP is too much?
Well, this budget has debt held by the public moving up to around 109% of GDP.
And that's not too much, in your opinion?
Historically, it's a high level, but on the other hand, interest rates, real interest rates, have moved down substantially in recent decades. And so higher levels of debt to GDP are sustainable with lower real interest rates. And on balance, as I said, the interest burden of the debt is at a level that is quite reasonable in historic terms.
Madam Secretary, you're a Keynesian.
Well, I don't quite know what you mean by that, but I've certainly studied.
Do you believe
you're going to drive the debt from somewhere around $32 trillion up to about $50 trillion, correct?
Yes, but what I believe is the single most important metric for judging the fiscal stance of the country is real net interest as a share of GDP.
Okay.
We have
so are you concerned when
GDP.
you're taking the debt from $32 to $50 trillion? Are you concerned who's going to buy that debt, and also at what rate they'll expect to be compensated for buying riskier and riskier debt? Are you concerned about that?
Well, if the real net interest cost of the debt remains low relative to GDP, and we're on a sustainable fiscal.
Well, we're not on a sustainable path. You're going to drive the debt from somewhere around 30.
Listen to this bullshit. I can't believe this
what
bitch.
the IRS's reputation is amongst the country. Have you done any polling or anything like that to see what generally taxpayers think? Middle, wealthy people, bottom. I mean, are they kind of like the National Park Service? Are they a little different? What do you think their impression is?
Well, it's extremely negative because the IRS has been starved for resources.
Oh, that's why.
And so
Yep.
there
So
are
that's what you would-
insufficient
I don't mean
people.
to cut you off, but I've got even less time than the ranking member does. So you think it's resource related that they
Absolutely.
have a bad reputation? It's nothing to do with historical culture in the agency or anything like that?
The
Is that your
agency
testimony?
has been resource starved.
Can you
Fucking lying bitch. I can't stand her.
And last week, James Comer told us that so far he's gotten bank records on one deal, the CEFC deal, where Rob Walker received $3 million from Communist China. The very next day, $1 million plus of that was distributed to Biden accounts. But he said that there are 11 more deals that he is going to get to the bottom of. That was just one deal. And all of this is happening, Senator, in the face of really obviously bad policy with regard to the economy. You had a number of people in front of you in your committees this week and last week. You spoke with Janet Yellen as the Silicon Valley Bank collapse went underway and the Signature Bank. This week we also had Credit Suisse acquired by UBS. We're worried about First Republic. What did you learn from Janet Yellen, and how was that? You also spoke with Mr. Becerra about the Homeland Security situation. Walk us through what you learned this past week.
What I learned from Janet Yellen is she is detached from reality as the president is. You know, Admiral Mike Mullen back in the 2010-2011 timeframe said the greatest threat to our national security is our debt and deficit. That's when our debt was at $14 trillion. Now it exceeds $32 trillion, and the Treasury Secretary was before the Finance Committee talking about President Biden, which would drive that debt up to over $50 trillion over the 10-year budget window. And she wouldn't even admit that the massive deficit spending was a major contributor. So she's either delusional or she's just lying to the American public. And of course, we had this HHS Secretary Becerra in front of us. We've been trying to get the last 50 pages of the Fauci emails. That they've allowed us to look at 350 pages in 50-page tranches in a reading room. Can't make copies, but we can, write down what we're finding. Now we're down to the last 50 pages. We've been trying to get those for over a year. This has to do with the origin of COVID. The Secretary said he thought that's an important thing to do, and he complained that he wasn't getting cooperation from the people they were investigating. Well, we're not getting cooperation from HHS Secretary Becerra, so I'm hoping that we release those 50 pages because the resistance kind of indicates to me that's probably where some relatively incriminating information is.
You know it, folks. Janet Yellen and the entire Democratic Party have been lying to the people for this entire administration's time in office. Everything that you've heard about inflation, about the government debt, about even leaving Afghanistan, about the situation in Russia and Ukraine, it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of lies. The Ponzi scheme is collapsing. The everything bubble is occurring right now, from money market funds to commercial real estate, residential real estate, used cars, RVs, new cars, tech companies, Fortune 500 companies, you name it. They are all overvalued beyond belief because of the ridiculous amount of spending that's been occurring from the 2008 Great Financial Crisis, in which the Federal Reserve ramped up the fucking money printer and just kicked everything into overdrive. That was their only option. It was their only way to prevent the U.S. dollar and the United States economy from collapsing at the time. We've gotten to a point now where that is completely unstoppable and inevitable. That's why, as of today, the Federal Reserve announced that they will be not launching the CBDC, the central bank digital coin, central bank digital currency, in July, because it is their attempt to transfer over from the US dollar into the CBDC. They will force Americans to take it. Broke and poor Americans will be forced to receive their welfare checks and their Social Security, not poor, but even retired, welfare checks and Social Security in the CBDC. People that work will be forced to receive their paychecks in CBDC or not get paid. When you pay your taxes, you'll be forced to pay it in the CBDC or be in default and get liens put up against your house by the state and the federal government. And there's many, many more. In addition, just like in China and in many other places around the world, say what you want as far as them being communist, that doesn't fucking matter here. The point of the matter is that the United States will allocate a percentage and allow a percentage of your CBDC money to be spent on certain things. So you only be able to send a certain percentage on housing, a certain percentage on food, a certain percentage on miscellaneous, another on necessities, another in your brokerage account. The government wants to be able to track everything that you do, and every dime that you spend, the IRS is going to be in your fucking pockets trying to get up your ass. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why these right here, you see these? This is the most fucking important thing to me right now. Gold and silver coins and bars. See these? This is real fucking money right here. Okay? Real fucking money. Turn that upside down. 999 silver and gold. See that? I can't do that with a goddamn dollar. I can't do that with digital coin. I could fucking sell this for whatever the hell I wanted. And the banks would eat it up. They would love to have that. Especially amongst people right now. People are accepting the fucking dollar for what? For what? What are you accepting a dollar for? It's might as well be as good as cryptocurrency. It's backed by nothing. You know, this little piece of shit, this is garbage. The fucking dollar is garbage. This is where the real fucking money is. Precious metals. And that's why you're seeing the price of gold and silver skyrocket right now. We need to have a little discussion. I saw some people saying something in regards to housing in the chat here. And I can see your chat right here next to me. And some people, some places like South Carolina and Texas and Florida are building homes at record levels. And it appears as if they're not slowing down, because they're not. But I will tell you their tricks. I'm a former real estate broker. Okay? And the tricks for these property management companies and these builders and developers, in order to prevent themselves from devaluing their homes, they're not listing all their available homes on the MLS, which is the multiple listing service. They're only listing a few of them, and they're keeping the prices elevated, even though in the South, for example, residential real estate prices are down by about 22%. They are not listing all of these homes, because then there would be a massive influx of supply, and that would signal to the home buyer, the uneducated home buyer, excuse me, that real estate, that there is a reduced demand and an increase in supply. So that means people would bargain more. But people are already bargaining because fewer and fewer people can afford the current interest rates to obtain a mortgage. Lending is tightening all across the board in banks, no matter what kind of lending you want to talk about. So these property developers are purposely only listing a small portion of their homes. So I'd say maybe 5 or 10% tops of their homes, in an estimate, in my opinion, are being listed on the MLS and for sale. And when you go over there and you're looking at homes, you're like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I like this one, but I kind of want that other floor plan. They'll be like, oh, you know what? This one just magically happened to become available. And then they will show you the floor plan that you want to see. These are easy tricks of a real estate broker and a property development company to prevent an influx of supply that would cause them to reduce their own prices, because then they would all be competing against themselves and each other. And it's in all of their best interests to keep these property values as elevated as possible. But that's already falling apart. I just want to be clear on that, my friends. Yes, JPEX S. Has everyone gone to Highcroft website and ordered their Adam Aaron and Diane G coins? I haven't personally, but I do have Adam Aaron. I do have some of the Highcroft Mining Corporation silver coins. I love the way they look. I think they're fantastic. Here, let me grab one right now. These things are pretty sweet. Check it out. These things are gorgeous. That's the AMC. Sorry, the focus is kind of messed up there, but that's the HYMC AMC limited run, limited edition, one of 3,000 coins. And check out the backside. It's even better looking. It's got the state of Nevada with a prospect there. And it says, developing Nevada's next world-class project. Highcroft Mining Corporation. This is a 1-ounce coin. Currently, these are going on eBay for around $150 to $190. Ask me how I know. I didn't buy this on eBay, but I bought a few of them, and I may or may not have sold a few to some close friends. There are many places to get precious metals. I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but I'm saying that for me, I would rather hold this and buy a house or buy a car or buy whatever the fuck I want with one of these or land than with actual CBDC money. Remember that. That's real fucking money. Now, you're right. I'm sorry. It's not technically a coin. It's a round. SU Ray, thanks for correcting me there. It's not considered a coin because it's not U.S. Government sponsored. It's not from a U.S. mint. It's just a round, which to me is the exact same thing, because I can't sell a U.S. coin for $150 or $180 on eBay, but I could sell one of those Highcroft coins for $150 on eBay all day, because it's what the value that people attach to it. Or just a regular, again, round, I meant to say. Just one of my other rounds that I have. I've got a lot of like the Don't Tread on Me rounds and things like that. Those don't matter to me if they're actually sponsored by the government, because what matters is the silver, the actual silver that's being used more and more in solar panels and in electric car batteries and manufacturing and many, many other things. Divinely Creative for him says rent shot up from $1,500 to $1,820 in 1 year. Before COVID, the unit was $1,100. Wow, so it went up from $1,100 to $1,800 plus in 2 years, huh? I'm not surprised, my friend. I'm not surprised in the slightest. You know what? Let's talk about AMC. I've had a blast. You guys, if you have questions, drop them in the chat right now. I will answer all questions. If you're in the think tank, go ahead and speak up. Ask me anything you guys want related to the macro, geopolitical, or stock market related things, and I will give you my best insights, or I will answer to the best of my ability. Nothing that I say is financial advice of any kind. I'm not a financial advisor. I will just do what I can to try to explain. Glenn Siege says the judge should have taken into consideration the vote percentages. Also, she wants to put more input from the class. Does she want 1 million letters from retail investors? There's over 4 million retail investors as of the last AMC share count. And I'm not surprised in the slightest. We will definitely talk about the lawsuit here shortly. Right before I get to that, though, today, the cost to borrow average for AMC has jumped to 594%. It was around 430% yesterday. The max cost to borrow has jumped to 1,005%. Sorry, 1,050 technically percent. Now, this is all self-reported, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And that does not include shorts marked as long. It does not include exchange-traded funds that hold AMC and GameStop, etc. And those are all being shorted separately. So short interest on an ETF that holds AMC shares still brings down the price of AMC without showing the actual short interest on AMC go down. Derivatives contracts, ISDA contracts, futures, swaps, you fucking name it. That is what collapsed Archegos. GameStop and AMC swaps collapsed Archegos. They got those legacy problems became Credit Suisse's problems. Those Credit Suisse's problems, when they defaulted, became UBS's problems. And now UBS is going to be laying off 36,000 fucking people. What do you think that tells you? Legacy problems. For those of you that are unaware, legacy problems means problems that are inherited due to prior financial issues, such as Archegos defaulting on their loans from their prime broker, Credit Suisse. And Credit Suisse defaulting and having so many upside down baskets of swaps that have caused their collapse and are now UBS's problems. Those swaps don't just disappear. That debt goes up the chain. And that's exactly what we've been talking about since we started this channel. To my fellow retail investors, there's a reason I say, Jerome Powell, get the fucking money printer out. It's because he's going to need the money printer to bail out all the financial institutions, the prime brokers, the broker dealers, the market makers, and all of the above that lose money on these highly over-leveraged short positions. And they should, because they have taken the people's money, your IRA, your ISA, your money market funds, your mutual funds, your 401ks, everything, and they have invested it. If you're not self-directed, self-investing, they have invested it in these over-leveraged positions by trying to bet against companies like AMC and GameStop. GameStop just posted their most profitable quarter earnings report ever. They have over $1 billion in cash on hand, and they are actually profitable. They made several millions of dollars in the last quarter, and it looks like that's on the uptick. AMC is paying down tons of their debt, and they are doing a conversion, a reverse split, and a dilution, selling shares on the open market to pay off more of their debt. And they will also, at that, currently they've still got around 600 million plus, 700 million in cash on hand, including around 400 million in actual of their own cash, and another 300 plus million in revolving loan liquidity available to them that has not all been used. So they've got $700 million in available cash on hand. They've closed over 100 underperforming theaters, and they opened over 46 new theaters, creating a cash burn. And that cash burn was fine because they opened 46 new theaters and closed 100 plus. But those 46 theaters are greatly outperforming the 100 that they closed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's fucking business. They have issued a brand new line of popcorn to retail investors at Walmart stores. And if you've been on Twitter lately, you could see that retail investors are buying up that popcorns by the case. Walmart's not even able to stock the boxes, empty the boxes, and stock them on the shelves. They put all the boxes in the end cap, and they just put a bunch of AMC popcorn on top because they know that retail investors are going to come by and take the whole fucking case anyway. They've been flying off the shelves. And if you go to your local Walmart, I bet that most of you will see that they're empty, or that the display is practically completely gone, or there's none in there whatsoever. What you're seeing here is rehypothecations, synthetic shares, tokenized securities, married and divorced puts, futures, swaps, and calls, married calls and divorced puts, and so on, that are manipulating the stock price of AMC and many other meme stocks around the world, including Hycroft Mining Corporation, GameStop, MMAT, you name it. This is a massive problem. And we're seeing a new high of 25.12% of short interest percentage. That's only self-reported. That's what the market makers are reporting to the actual exchanges. And that's where Ortex gets their data from. Ortex only has access to 85% of the exchange data. So theoretically, you could add 15% more because 15% of the exchange data is not pulled by Ortex. So you could actually add 15% of the 25% in addition. So 25.12 divided by 15. It would actually be significant. It could be 2 percentage points higher than this. It could be 26, 27% in self-reported short interest. But Ortex only has 85% of the self-reported exchange data. So this number is astro-fucking-nomical. Now, lawsuit. So here's what happened. AMC put out a trap. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. AMC put a trap for these jackasses that decided to sell them, that decided to sue them in demand of stop in an effort to stop the conversion and reverse split, which I am so excited about, and I'm very much looking forward to it when it occurs. I think it's only a short matter of time, and I'll explain why. AMC made a settlement offer to the people that are suing them, and the judge, she went ahead after the settlement was accepted by them, and it wasn't even a good settlement. It was just getting 1 share for every 7.5 shares post reverse split, after the reverse split. So that would be the about getting 1 for every 75 shares now. The judge has actually put out a letter regarding the unopposed motion to lift the status quo order due to the parties' proposed settlement, and struck it down. It has been struck down. All right, here we got, dear counsel, I write to resolve the plaintiffs' unopposed motion to lift the status quo order due to the parties' proposed settlement. The motion for dismissal, by the way. For the reasons that follow, the motion is denied. On February 27th of this year, the then parties to the two actions constituting this consolidated matter stipulated to expedited proceedings and a status quo order by which the defendants agreed not to amend AMC Entertainment Holdings, and so on. And what she's saying here is that the motion to lift the status quo order due to the parties' settlement proposal has been denied because the judge does not think that these few jackasses like Allegheny, who has 0.1% of their portfolio with AMC shares, 0.1%, and the couple of retail investors that they got in on it, they do not think that they represent retail. And therefore, we have the opportunity to see a complete motion to dismiss with prejudice by the judge on the April 27th, 2023 court date. This means, in my opinion, that the judge wants to find out why these assholes were so quick to accept the settlement when they made such a big deal out of it. Why were they so quick to accept the settlements? The judge does not feel that these, handful of individuals, 10 people, and and Allegheny, represent retail investors, and they don't represent me whatsoever. They don't represent me and anybody here in any way. I don't want to sue AMC. I've got no problem with a conversion and a 1-to-10 reverse split because my share price is still going to go up 10 times. I don't care if I have 100 $1 bills or a single $100 bill or 10 $10 bills or 5 $20 bills or 2 50s. It's still $100 fucking dollars. It doesn't matter. In addition, go ahead, my brother. The market cap is the same. It doesn't matter if I have 10 times fewer shares at a 10 times higher price because the float itself will also be 10 times smaller. So instead, that will make it 10 times harder to locate shares.
You're goddamn right.
Goddamn right, brother. We're going to be so fucking rich.
You know it.
Let's see. Is Moas in Adam Aaron's best interest? It makes sense that he would want long-term growth, but short-term, Moas doesn't seem to be in his best interest. Your thoughts? Brad, I'll be honest with you, man. I respect you, but I think that's absolute nonsense. Adam Aaron owns millions of fucking AMC shares. And if AMC ran up to 100 or 1,000 or fucking 10,000 or 100,000, whatever the hell you want, and pick a number, that would do nothing but increase Adam Aaron's wealth. Like, it's fucking, I'm not saying you're stupid, but it's fucking stupid to think that a man that owns millions and millions of shares and gets paid in millions of shares every fucking year is going to want a stock price to go down. That's absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely stupid. It's nonsense. It's quite frankly retarded. It's retarded. Yeah, Nick Pinero, I did say more volatility, my friend. Absolutely right. It would greatly increase volatility if there was 10 times fewer shares available for share locates. It would greatly increase the cost to borrow if there was 10 times harder to find the fucking shares. And it would increase the days that AMC spends on the threshold securities list. And it would increase the amount of times that broker-dealers would have to play the shell game moving around these FTDs. It would cost them more and more money. Imagine if your fucking mortgage rates or your car note went up to 594% APR. What would your fucking mortgage or your car note look like if you were previously paying 3%, 6% annual interest, and now you're paying 594%? You'd be bleeding money. You'd be bleeding. It would fucking kill you inside a little bit every single day. And that's exactly what's happening to these short fucks. I don't care how long this takes. I'm here to witness proper price discovery. And that's it. I don't give a shit that it's been 2 years. I've seen 2 beautiful squeezes on AMC. And both times they happened, in January and June of 2021, it's because AMC sold shares and diluted on the open fucking market. What is it that you fucking idiots don't understand about this? I'm not talking to all of you. I'm talking about the ones that oppose AMC's dilution. It allows them to pay off debt. And every time it's happened in the past, it causes massive price spikes. And the last time that it happened, we saw all-time highs of $77 a share on AMC. You don't got to be a fucking genius to figure out what that means. At least, I don't think so, but hey, to each their own. You know, you're welcome to have your own opinion and think what you want, and you can spew negativity on your social media for all I fucking care, but you will not do it on my channel. You will not do it in my think tank. You will not do it on my fucking YouTube channel, because I do not deal well with people that lie and spread negativity or fear, uncertainty, and doubt for the simple fact that they lack conviction and they haven't done their own fucking due diligence. And you want to know why the SEC doesn't want to change the fucking rules and continues to issue out all these fines? Because shorts marked as long, such as the $3 million fine that Goldman Sachs just received a couple days ago for doing this, for marking shorts as long, that money goes to the United States Treasury. To my ex-girlfriend, Janet fucking Yellen over here. This
So
stupid,
$51
delusional
trillion.
bitch. And the United States Treasury gets the fines that come from the issue that are issued by the SEC and the Securities Exchange Commission. So why would they want to do that? Goldman Sachs, April 4th, just yesterday, was fined $3 million, even though they probably made $100 million, by FINRA for mismarked sales. Goldman was just fined $3 million for mistakenly marking shorts as long. It allowed the firm to short millions of shares while short sale circuit breakers were in effect. Ladies and gentlemen, what did I tell you about Dodd-Frank regulations? Did it do a goddamn thing? What does that mean? Well, when the SSR rule is in effect, all these guys do is they continue to short it. But instead of marking it the short as a short position, they just don't check the box. And the short goes through as a long position. So they're literally cooking the books. A liability is being shown on their asset books as an asset. On their books, I meant to say. The liability is being shown as an asset on their books by marking shorts as long. If I did this, I would go to federal fuck me in the ass prison for the rest of my life. Fuck you, Goldman Sachs. I want my fucking money. That's why I'm wearing my Mo astronaut helmet again. But you know what? I don't fucking need this right now. It's fucking warm. That's why I started taking it off. It's getting nice out again. Don't need the hat anymore right now. So Goldman Sachs breaks the fucking rules, continues to make profit, and then FINRA comes in after the fact, after 3 years of them doing this, and fines them a slap on the wrist of $3 million and keeps $1.1 million for itself. FINRA takes $1.1 million, the rest goes to the Treasury, everybody's fucking happy. Business as usual. And because of this, I'm more than happy to continue holding until these pricks are folding. Just like Archegos and Credit Suisse and SVB and Silvergate and FTX and all these other assholes and these shitty crypto exchanges, these broker dealers, these prime brokers, these family offices and hedge funds, they can go fuck themselves, because I'm not fucking selling until they fire Janet Yellen and pay me my fucking money. And don't forget it. Because of the inaccurate categorization by Goldman Sachs, 12,335 orders, 12,500 separate orders that were executed were at or below the NBBO while the short sale circuit breaker was in place. Jesus fucking Christ! We're going to be so goddamn motherfucking rich. And that's not financial advice. That's reading the writing on the fucking wall. Good Lord. Real fucking money. Fuck your CBDC. Pay me. And for those of you that are wondering, won't they just halt it? Won't they limit up, limit down halts? When am I going to get my fucking money back? Shut the fuck up. Maybe you should have thought about that before you invested in a highly volatile stock. All right? If they could have stopped these stocks from running in the past, do you think AMC would have run up 3,000% in January of 2021? Do you think it would have run up from $10 up to $77 in June of 2021 when AMC issued shares both times? Of fucking course not. Do you think GameStop would have gone to $400+ and threatened the financial solvency of the majority of hedge funds and family offices and prime brokers and broker dealers out there? Fuck no. But it happened. And that was just a small symptom of the problem at hand. The short interest has gone fucking nowhere but up. The manipulation has gone nowhere but up to another level. And I don't care how long I have to fucking wait. I will wait. Just like people waited a fucking decade to go from $50 a Bitcoin to $60,000 a Bitcoin. If I got to wait a decade, I'll do that. I'll fucking do that gladly.
And they're bleeding.
They're bleeding every single day, brother. Every single day. Fuck Goldman Sachs. Fuck all these assholes that are illegally shorting the stock, that are committing crimes, manipulating and trading ISDA swaps and futures and contracts from one desk to another in order to use derivatives to leverage themselves even further into debt with your investment funds, with your 401k and your IRA, your ISA, your thrift savings plan, you name it. It's being invested into these shitty mutual funds, these money market funds. You guys know why the RRP is so goddamn high? The RRP is so high because these money market funds have nowhere else to put their money. They have to put them in these short-term reverse repurchase program funds in which they trade treasury bonds for cash to the federal government and the next day trade it back for a 4.8% offering rate. The FOMC, the FOMC has directed the Federal Reserve Trading Desk to undertake overnight RRP in amounts limited only by the value of Treasury securities held outright in the SOMA that are available for such operations. Securities that are not available include Treasury securities held outright in the SOMA that are needed to conduct the RRP. So that means the money market funds and all these guys can buy Treasury bonds, which helps to prop up the stock market and the bond market. And then the federal government comes by and gives them 4.8% APR interest every goddamn day. This is the next bubble. These money market funds and these mutual funds, they will fucking collapse, in my opinion, in the near short term. You see companies like Blue, telling you that they're good investments. Well, I'm not going to tell you if it's a good investment or a bad investment, but I will tell you that I won't be surprised to watch it crash in the near term future, in the very short term. AMC was going to give me free shares. They were going to give me free shares. That now they can't do that because the judge just said, hold on, these assholes don't represent all of the retail class. Let's take this to court on the 27th and get a further deep dive into what's going on here. Brad, that's right, man. There's a ridiculous amount of counterparty risk here. Brad says, y'all playing Monopoly with a corrupt banker. You might get your $200 for going around the board, but they own all the properties and rents. Oh, man. Yeah, owning property is definitely a good thing if you can stomach the short-term losses, my friend. And again, that's not financial advice, but if you take a look at the charts, property in the long term continues to go up. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, by all means, drop them in the chat. I'm going to scroll up a little bit here in my chat. PD Harris says, Marcel, thanks for your great due diligence. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, Roasted Caffeine says that all these big institutes that have millions of shares are really... I lost it. They have millions of shares long but are actually short. Yeah, they have millions of shares that are marked as long positions, that are marked as assets on their books. It looks like they have positive cash flow, but they don't exist. It's actually a short sale. That guys like Goldman Sachs and Bank of America and BNP Paribas and all these other fucking crooks are simply marking their liabilities as an asset. They are cooking the books, taking a page right out of Al Capone's book. And remember, he went to jail, not for all of the things that he did, but he went to federal fuck me in the ass prison for defrauding the IRS, for doing the exact same thing that Goldman and B of A and all these other JP Morgan are getting a slap on the wrist for. So, that being said, I don't mind waiting as long as I need to wait till I get my fucking money. So, like Michael Baker says, they can cover through Adam Aaron, implying that selling shares on the open market, or they can take the synthetic challenge on the open market from retail. And you're absolutely right. That's been the big problem, is that there's no real shares being sold. Even though when you have a synthetic share in your account, which the majority of retail investors do, it still acts as an actual share when you receive your money, because the DTC has to settle actually make the settlement. But those synthetic shares are on the books, and the DTC is the only ones who actually knows if there's, instead of 516 million AMC shares, they're the only ones that know if there's 3 billion or 5 billion or 50 billion or more. In my honest opinion, I wouldn't be surprised to see if there was 50 billion synthetic shares, including all the swaps, contracts, married and divorce puts, rehypothecations, shorts marked as long, and all the other bullshit that's going on and manipulation that's occurring by these short hedge funds. So they can't buy real shares to settle their positions. So in the meantime, they're just buying up synthetics, creating synthetics, acting as the liquidity fairy. And when AMC issues and dilutes shares on the open market, the short hedge funds are going to go out and buy them, as are the prime brokers and the broker dealers, because the broker dealers need them. They desperately need those shares in order to fulfill retail exercising call contracts. You heard me, ladies and gentlemen. When retail exercises call contracts, the broker dealers have to go out and fetch them at any price. And that creates a gamma squeeze situation. And when the gamma gets higher, the prime brokers and the broker dealers and the short hedge funds all have to delta hedge. And then when they delta hedge, that means that they're buying shares to protect their cash, their positions. And when they're buying shares, it causes the stock price to go up. And that creates the short hedge funds to have to short the stock even more to keep it in check. And that's why AMC is still seeing 25.12% self-reported short interest out of 85% exchange data, not including everything else that I just mentioned. CFATS says, not much, but here's to everyone in this together. We wait and we make them pay like the revolutionaries before us. We will prevail, my friend. Thank you, CFATS. I appreciate your contributions, and you make a great fucking point. Make a great point. I ain't selling till they fire Janet Yellen. I ain't through till they liquidate .72. Until Citadel's folding, I'll continue holding. AR says banks and hedge funds and such should not be allowed to mark orders on their own. And you are absolutely right, my friend. Yvonne Carnes, Yvonne says, if there were 50 billion synthetic shares, how much would a share be worth? That's not a question that anyone can answer, to be honest with you, because the market is constantly changing. It's ever flowing and expanding and contracting. And so
the question would be, how high would the Fed let it go?
Yeah, that's a better question, is how high can this actually go? We saw it go. We saw GameStop go to $400 and something a share. And AMC at the time was only like $8 or $10 a share in January of 2021. And they had to completely halt trading of KOSS, KOSS, GameStop, GME, and AMC Theaters, AMC. They had to pull them from the market and did not allow retail investors to buy them, but they made them position close only so that retail would get scared and close their positions. That was January 28th of 2021. At the same time, Bittrex and FTX issued tokenized securities, TSOs, that were supposedly backed by AMC and GameStop and KOSS, but they never really held the correct amount. But those TSOs, those tokenized securities, allowed them in the short term to use those as share locates. And those share locates then allowed them to tell a broker-dealer that they had the shares, even though they didn't really have the shares. And the broker-dealers had plausible deniability to believe that they had the shares, thus creating more and more synthetics than ever before. And that's why, after that occurred, from February 8th through February 16th of 2021, there was a plethora of other meme stocks that ran thousands and thousands of percentage points. For example, OCGN, Oxygen Inc. ran 5,259% on February 8th, just a few days after AMC and GameStop were put back on the market, because the reverberations that were caused by the meme stock squeeze caused a huge number of shares of stocks, of different kinds of stocks that were held in these ETF baskets that have been shorted very heavily for many, many years. And that's exactly why I'm showing you these 100+ stocks that ran in the days preceding, the days after the AMC and GameStop and costs and all these other debacles. Okay, this was not a coincidence that we had 1,000, 5,000, 3,000% gains on all of these stocks. There is no such thing as a coincidence in the stock market. This was gamma squeezing and delta hedging as a direct result of the problems that they sought, that they found with the positions that they hold in AMC and GameStop. And nothing has fucking changed. Not a goddamn thing has changed. In the meantime, you're going to continue to see this happen more and more. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, drop them now. I think I've got 2 more minutes. If anybody in the think tank has any questions, you know what? I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to put out an invite to Boss Blunt's think tank. So if you've been trying to figure out how to get in the Discord is free. I don't charge money for it, okay? Like, this isn't the Discord that I'm going to get you on and try to sell you anything or try to give you financial advice or try to tell you what to do. This is a think tank that revolves around positivity and figuring out what we can do to protect ourselves from all the shitty changes being made by the federal government and these short hedge funds and so on. Again, it's not financial advice. It's simply us sharing due diligence and information. And before I put this out there, for those of you that want to know what the rules are for Boss Blunt's think tank, the rules are you don't post stupid FUD videos and articles. Okay, we can talk about them, no problem. But if you want to come in and post a video from some dumbass like Al from Boston or the Marine or some other shill out there that's trying to spread fear and uncertainty and doubt, you're going to get banned the fuck out of the think tank with extreme quickness. Because we are open to having discussions about opposing viewpoints, but we are not open to letting complete dipshits, shills, and morons spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt in our community. If you're spreading negativity about Adam Aaron or Ryan Cohen or AMC or GameStop, either and or, you will be banned immediately without question, and you will not be allowed the chance to return. If you try to provide financial advice, solicit members, spam, or are diminutive to other members, you will be immediately banned and not welcome back to Boss Blunt's think tank. Miss Tahiti says...
Be a dick.
Go ahead, brother.
Said, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick in the think tank or you'll get chewed the fuck up and spit the fuck out. So let's go over here. I'm going to go onto the YouTube chat right now, and I'm going to drop some links. You will be immediately banned. I'm going to drop a link. It is only good for the next 3 days. You know what? I'm going to make it good for 3 days only. And I've given you the warnings. I will not warn you again because you've heard it here live from my own mouth. When you get into the think tank, if you decide to join, you do have to come into the think tank and go to the rules section, read the rules, and click the matrix icon to show that you understand and are able to comprehend everything that has been said. If you do not do that, you will not be able to see all the channels. You will not be able to speak or talk in really any way. You're only going to have very limited access which really means nothing. Brad, thanks for your contribution, my friend. You're too kind. Appreciate the Snapchat. That's going straight to the think tank to pay for everything that we use here, for the other the softwares and everything else. Because believe it or not, I spend more money than I make on this fucking YouTube channel just because I feel like it. Because I like having these conversations with people, and I think that people need to be more financially educated. If you're in the think tank already and you don't see Ape Chat, that's because you haven't gone to the rules section. It's right here. It's called Read This First. You have not read the rules. You have not clicked the emoji icon at the bottom of the post. It says read and react to stay in the Discord, and I will be purging the Discord here in the short term. What that means is if you haven't been on the Discord in more than a month or two, if you haven't clicked that button that I'm telling you, the emoji that is a disclaimer and the rules section, you will be kicked. Because we don't deal with shills, we don't deal with fudsters, and we get people out immediately, not for having opposing viewpoints, but for spreading fake news. Plain and simple. Yvonne Carnes, you're too kind. Thanks for the super chat. That's going straight to the think tank. Nismo Spec says, does it benefit you more if you have viewers on YouTube or Discord? It doesn't benefit me. Like, to be honest with you, if you want to like and subscribe, The only reason that I tell people that it helps to hit that like button, because the algorithm, by detecting the number of likes compared to the number of viewers, will put this video out to other people that have not yet seen the channel, thus giving them financial education and spreading the word about what's going on with our federal government, the Treasury, meme stocks, the stock market, the bond market, real estate, etc. You get the point, right? So when I realized back in 2021 was that the entire financial system is going to be collapsing, as well as the U.S. dollar, due to the vast amounts of over-leveraging by these prime brokers and banks and hedge funds, I realized that the only way to get across to people is by doing this shit on Discord, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, that kind of shit, because social media is king. It is king right now, and I wouldn't be able to reach even a fraction of the number of people any other way. Think about it. How else could I get you this information? Send you a letter to your fucking house? Like, yeah, trying to chop down some of that ignorance. You know what I mean? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This just posted 1 minute ago. Captain Riker says, never forget that Boss Blunts and AMC Bigums called for a yes vote. You're right, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fucking forget it. I could not be happier that the vote was passed for the three proposals. 88% of retail voted yes. I could not be happier. He said, there's no forgiveness for this. It took a judge to not rubber stamp the class action against AA. It's time to unite against AA. We're here for the MOAS, not to save this dying bullshit, AMC. Go fuck yourself, you douche. That'll probably earn me a fucking ban, a 7-day ban or whatever. But I really don't give a shit. Blocked. Goodbye. Have a nice life, you fuckface. If you're new to the think tank, welcome. Let's see, we got a few people. Lady Tahiti, what's up? Petro just joined. Got a few people jumping in here. Adam, Magnum, welcome everybody. Doobie Watt, TK393. Oh, my ex. Damn, Janet. What's up, One Up? Fire sale stocks and trades today. Interesting. No Hess, SB, John P, RDF, Jatcher. All right, welcome everybody. Looks like it's meme central right now. Everybody's saying hi to all the new peoples. Hey, what's up, SLW? First time joining tonight. Great live. Don't kick me, please. Thanks, boss. No problem, buddy. Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate you guys. It's good to see you all. But yeah, come on in if you want. I don't charge for anything. You're not going to be solicited. If anybody comes to you asking for money, block them immediately and let me know. I'll never ask you for a fucking dime. I don't want to sell you anything. This is all for a community, because people need a place that's safer than that shithole Twitter. As you just guys saw, this shill douchebag over there trying to talk shit about AMC Bigums and I for, spreading financial education. Like, really? I'm not telling anybody to buy anything. I'm telling people to do your own fucking due diligence and make your own decision for yourself. Don't buy AMC. Don't sell AMC. Don't hold AMC. Do it. I don't give a fuck. It's your choice. Same thing for GameStop. I don't give a fuck if you buy it or sell it or hold it. That matters not to me. I know what I hold. And if 50% of those investors decided to sell tomorrow, I'd be happy. I still wouldn't care. I still wouldn't fucking care.
Yeah, wouldn't be enough to cover.
Exactly. 2 million retail investors selling their shares would still be not enough to cover all the short positions out there. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you all. But all right, I think I've ranted on long enough.
I mean, we're gonna be really fucking rich.
I think we're going to be filthy fucking rich. They're going to pull the buy button. They're going to limit up, limit down, halt us about 1,000 times. Stocks are going to go to new all-time highs.
We will make our ice cream all the way to the moon.
For those of you that don't understand, what does that mean, Cash? Lick my ice cream. What does that mean, brother?
Yeah, teeny profits on the way up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not holding to $100,000 a share. If you are, good fucking luck to you. But I'm not holding to $100,000 a share. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to lick my ice cream before it melts. I'm going to take my profits on the way up on my 1,000+ call contracts of AMC and AMC1. I'm going to exercise a shitload of those call contracts to shove the gamma and delta hedging right up the shorts' asses. Because the broker dealers are going to have to go out and fetch those shares at whatever price and pay me my fucking shares. And then I will take additional profits on my shares as well. I will be taking profits on the way up. I will be taking profits on the top. And I will be taking profits on the way down. And I will always hold a good amount of shares of my favorite stocks. But don't do what I do. Do whatever makes sense for you. Do whatever makes sense for you, because I don't know your situation. Nobody here knows your situation. If you need to sell your shares, sell them right fucking now. If you want to just get your money back, get your fucking money back. I don't care. I know I've got big digits in mind. I'm here for billions with an S. And I'm not selling until my brokerage accounts look like international fucking phone numbers. That being said, I wish you peace and wealth, everybody. Get the fucking money printer out, Jerome Powell. Come on, old Yeller. I know you're going to need it. You know what? If you guys want to listen to a good song, check out Living Through by Paul P. P-A-U-L-P on Spotify or Instagram. Here's my man right here, Paul P. Living Through. This song hits home. This song strikes me in a way that a lot of music doesn't, because it's this man's a true ape right here, true ape.
Yeah, you don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoked through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through.
This one's for you.
Now I'm sipping on this whiskey. Got one chance and it's risky, so you can't play around. And I got my team behind me like a background. I don't ever back down.
Cash money.
Now I'm focused, keep on grinding for my stacks now. I'm feeling lost in this ocean, where's a lighthouse? I keep on swinging for the fence and I ain't strike out. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling, yeah, that's how I'm feeling now. We're not here for a long time, yeah. It's 9 to 5, it's a long grind, yeah. A lot of to success, it's a long climb, man. Now I'm sitting here making up for time, yeah. Man, I took so many losses that I lost count. I didn't know what I was made of, but I found out. And this life will blindside, you better look out. These haters wanna see you fall and get you took out, yeah. And this life is a race. I keep on checking my place. Now I'm riding for my team. You can tell by my plates. And this life just threw a hook. It caught me right in the face. But I'm getting back up. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll climb a couple of mountains. I'll swim a couple of lakes. Don't got time for that bitch and don't got time for complaints. Now you going through some shit. Now tell me, how does it taste? You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. Now I'm living with my choices, I just own my mistakes, cause I'm screaming fucking hand down, I ain't searching for breaks, but I'm barely treading water and this life is the lake. Now the pressure keeps on building as I'm raising the stakes. I ain't looking for advice, now I'm looking for space. Now I'm dealing with these losses, but I know I hate the taste. Now I'm sitting back, I'm thinking as I smoke into the face. Now it's time for these apologies, the time it's too late. So bygones be bygones, I'm on business with a tie on. So fuck a shoulder to cry on, I'ma get a hopping like Zion. Let's raise a glass, I'll toast that. Reminisce, we roast that. How I wrote them and ain't wrote back. I'm never flimsy, the goat's back. So I don't feel bad, no not at all. When a lot of years, write a lot of calls, a lot of birthdays without a call. Ain't got time for that, so fuck a fraud. You ain't there for me, I ain't there for you. You won't bleed for me, I won't bleed for you. All the hard times I lived through, keep moving, gotta get through. I got goals and cash, I gotta get to. All these memories that I flipped through. If you can't relate, then don't judge. I stand my ground, I won't budge. I'm sitting back cause I burn buds. I swear to God, this life's good. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through. You don't know all the shit that I've been through, all the pain and the struggle that I lived through. Now I'm rolling up these papers that I smoke through, thinking about all the shit that I've been through.
Caliber, it's too kind of you, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support of the think tank. Says these likes need to be upped. Been around for a while, brother. Appreciate all the knowledge you spread. Well, thank you, my friend. You don't got to pay me for the knowledge, but I definitely appreciate you. You guys have a great evening. I wish you peace and wealth and health.